How do you stop overthinking?
You don't. You're an overthinker or you're not. I can't sleep at night because I'm thinking too much. I wake up and if the wrong thought catches me, I'll be awake. I don't try to stop overthinking. The only way to numb overthinking is over drinking, sleeping pills, a bunch of crap that I'm not into.
So just keep thinking until you beat the overthinking.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Just if you're an overthinker, good. It's a superpower. Yeah.
And what's like maybe a 15-second tip? No, you don't like them, but a tip for good mental strength.
You know, when I was growing up and when you were growing up, people used to say this, and I really took it for granted, and so did you probably, and so did most people here because we're all of a similar age. Eat your dinner. There are children starving in Africa. You know, nowadays it's Syria or some other country. And, you know, you say that to kids and kids don't really take it in. They're like, yeah, fine, I might eat my dinner, I might not. Mental strength, for me, comes from the knowledge that so many people have it so much worse. And who am I to be crying about my situation? When I was in jail, this is already off the news and everyone's forgotten about this situation. People still talk about me being in prison. That's still national news. But let me tell you something. At the time I was in jail in January, February, 2022, earthquakes happened in Turkey. They're still rebuilding. No one cares. That's off the news now. Everyone's forgot about it. But I was in that prison cell looking up at the TV at these fathers and mothers screaming and crying because they couldn't find their kids. Kids running around, where's my parents? These people were dead, by the way, because the death toll was absolutely massive. And I was like, okay, hear me out. I'm worth loads of money. I won't say the number. It's loads. My mom, my daughter, everyone I care about is completely taken care of. All these cars, all this money, all these, life's good, I'm healthy. Okay, I'm in jail. So what? They would trade my places with me in a second if they could have their families and everything completely healthy. They'd sit in jail, especially every man would sit in jail happily for the rest of their lives to have what I have. So yeah, I don't break because who am I to break? Things are going pretty well for me. I owe it to the people out there who watch me, who believe in me, to not break. When Sam Smith, and I don't know why I'm saying this guy's name, during the lockdowns was crying on video in his 15 million pound mansion, this is so hard. I was like, who is still a fan of that guy after this? Everyone was going through the same crap in England. But you're sitting there in a 15 million pound mansion crying on the internet about how hard your life is. I will never be that guy, ever. My life is great. Jail, life's great. Something bad happens to me, I lose my arm. Life isn't the best, but you know, it's still pretty great. So, mental strength, that's the key. There are children starving in Africa.
If God decides that I don't need nightmares anymore, I'll fathom out how to stop it. If God decides I need to wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat, fearful or afraid they're coming to get me, then that's God's plan for me and that's what I'm going to deal with. I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of any of these things. I'm not afraid of feeling bad. Now, I'm not a coward. And I want to make this very clear. I'm not a coward. I don't care if I don't sleep again for the rest of my life. I refuse to take any fucking pill, and I refuse to sit and have my mind altered by anything I do not control. I don't care if I have nightmares for the rest of human time.
Right.
As long as I'm in charge of my mind, I'm in charge of my life. If God decides that I don't need nightmares anymore, I'll fathom out how to stop it. If God decides I need to wake up in the middle of the night in a sweat, fearful or afraid they're coming to get me, then that's God's plan for me and that's what I'm going to deal with. I'm not a coward. I'm not afraid of any of these things. I'm not afraid of feeling bad. I'm not afraid of anxiety. I'm not afraid of panic. This is one of the things I think a lot of men out there struggle with is they're so worried and afraid of bad feelings. And to me, that's just showing that you've had an easy life. Like there's real people out here who are trying to kill you. There's people out here who put a knife in your neck. You're scared of what? Feeling sad? Like there's real problems. What are you worried about feeling sad for? Who gives a shit? I could feel sad for the rest of my life and I guarantee one, nobody would know. And two, I would be monumentally successful regardless. So why are we even talking about it? I have no fear for a negative feeling. I have fear for me not being able to provide for my children. I have fear for people who rely on me not being provided for and cared for. But I don't have I don't wake up and go, I'm worried if I might feel sad today. Who cares? Who cares? I can be happy or sad on the same day. Nobody notices and the same things get done. The exact same amount of work gets done. Nothing changes. Am I supposed to be happy? Am I supposed to feel good?
No, it's not happy.
No, of course, but This is what I don't understand about people, especially men in the world today. Why are they so worried about being afraid? Why are they so worried about, I was afraid every time I fought.
Yeah.
I fought anyway.
Yeah.
Like, I don't let fear guide what I'm gonna do. I do what I'm supposed to do regardless of how I feel. So I don't see anything wrong with feeling fearful. I don't see anything wrong with feeling stressed or under pressure or anxious. All these things men are trying to get rid of. And I talk about men specifically. I gender this because I'm a man. I don't know how it feels to be a woman. But all these things that people are trying very hard to get rid of from their brains, I don't see why they need to leave. I will argue the point that if I feel anxious and pressured and stressed and fearful, I will get more done than if I was happy. I think if I was happy, I'd just be hedonistic and just wasting my time. I think that you get a whole bunch done with these negative connotations and negative emotions, and I think that life is suffering and pain, and you're here to go through it, and the sooner you get used to the taste, the more successful you're gonna be. I have no interest in trying to change the flavor, my friend. The flavor of life is pain, and I will eat all of it. And it doesn't matter if they put me back in jail or not. I'm not sitting there going, how can I be happy in jail? I will sit in jail and say, yes, this sucks, it's supposed to suck. Yes, I'm not enjoying this. Yes, I'm anxious and paranoid. And yes, that guy might stab me. And yes, I can't sleep and I miss my family. And this is what's supposed to happen to me. And this is how I become the best man I can possibly be. And I'm gonna succeed regardless. If I had an affliction, I would like to be my own doctor. And I think with your mind, you can do a lot of it yourself. And I think if you have a very strict framework in how you measure how successful you are as a human, and I do it through competence and achievement, I say, which mindset do I need to achieve as much as I can possibly achieve?
Right.
I think the only thing better than having everything you want is not wanting anything, right? So I have every car on this planet. I have 40 supercars. Most people want a supercar. I have 14. But there's that unique 0.1% of people who genuinely don't want one. And I think that's more freeing than having everything you want, right? So the true mindset is not wanting anything. Most people, the best they can do is having everything they want. And I feel like you can kind of do this with the emotions as well. I guess my general consensus is that I don't think I can change or affect the world to the point where pain and suffering and bad things are not going to happen. So isn't it best if I just enjoy all of that? Doesn't that make me as powerful as possible if I say, oh yeah, okay, this is going to suck, good. I mean, I do it when I fight. Yesterday I was fighting, right? We were doing 12 rounds and all of us were destroyed. And the more he hurt me, the more I wanted to hurt him back. The more he hurt me, the better it felt. The more powerful I felt, the more he hit me, because then it's my turn, right? So if I can't stop him from punching me, and I'll do my best, but if I can't, then surely you should learn to enjoy it, right? And I don't think you can stop life from hitting you. And I don't think you can stop life from giving you unexpected surprises. And I don't think you can stop yourself from feeling sometimes sad or anxious or upset. So I think the best mindset you could adopt is finding that engaging and exciting. I'm not going to lie to you. Although I am facing very serious charges, and although they are trying to destroy my life, and although I cannot sleep the same, and although they're out to get me, and although I've suffered, part of me is excited. Part of me is like, okay.
Why?
Because it's a war.
You like war?
I think all men do.
I do.
Yeah, of course, all men do. So it's a battle.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. So I'm not saying I'm glad it happened, because I'm certainly not. And I'm not saying I'm going to win, but I'm saying that I've trained myself to the point where if I were walking down the street and 10 men were to pull knives on me, I'd be intimidated, but 20% of me would go, this is going to be one to remember.